Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In Surah Ash-Shu'ara verses 87 to 89, Allah says, وَلَا تُخْسِنِي يَوْمَ يُبْعَثُونَ يَوْمَ لَا يَنْفَعُ مَالٌ وَلَا بَنُونَ إِلَّا مَنْ أَتَى اللَّهَ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. And the translation of this verse is, and do not disgrace me on the day they are all resurrected, the day when there will not benefit anyone, wealth or children, but only one who comes to Allah with a sound heart. Now this episode is a continuation of the previous lecture where I discussed that inferiority complex can stem from the unrealistic standards that society has placed upon us. We find it difficult to meet those standards and eventually we feel like a failure. We feel as if society looks down upon us and we are now worthless. But since it is hard to change society and it's hard to change the standards that society has set for us, what exactly can we do to help ourselves? That is where these verses come in. The simple answer is stop seeking validation from other people and start seeking validation from Allah. Now, what does validation mean? Something that we commonly do is that we tend to find someone or some group of people who we want to please. So for instance, as kids, we want to please our parents. We want them to say, I'm proud of you. I'm so pleased with your efforts. We want them to give us some kind of reward in the form of encouraging words or gifts to acknowledge the effort that we have made. And this, of course, is part of human nature. As we get older then, we shift our focus towards our friends. We want our friends to love us, accept us, to say nice things about us. Then when we start working, we want our boss to appreciate us by telling us what an excellent job we're doing or how happy he is with us. A couple of years later, we get married and now the focus shifts to our spouse. The husband wants appreciation and acknowledgement from his wife. He wants her to say what a great, hard-working and amazing man he is and how much he does for his family. And the wife wants appreciation from her husband. She wants to be told what a great woman she is, how lucky he feels to have her, how beautiful she is. Now, of course, it's always nice to have someone appreciate your efforts. But when you work hard only to get appreciation from that person or from those people, that's when it becomes dangerous. Now you are seeking validation, which means you will now feel worthy if those people make you feel worthy. You will feel confident if those people say words that make you feel confident, which means if the person you are seeking validation from does not choose to say the words that you want to hear, you keep working harder and harder until you become exhausted. Instead of asking yourself, why am I even behaving in this manner? Why am I seeking validation from this person? You start telling yourself, I'm worthless, I'm a failure, because no matter what I do, I cannot make this person proud of me. I cannot make this person happy with me. So our confidence and our self-respect is diminished. But the real question is, whose fault is it? When you seek validation from someone else, you are being unfair to them and you are being unfair to yourself because you are demanding something from them that maybe they just cannot give you. For example, at times our parents don't say, I'm proud of you, or they don't give us much appreciation, not because they don't feel proud of us, not because they hate us, but because they were never given words of appreciation themselves when they were young. So they just don't know how to give appreciation. They don't know how to express it. They find it weird. At times our friends don't give us appreciation, not because they don't like us, but because they are suffering from their own complexes and they don't know how to say something nice to us. At times our spouses don't appreciate us, not because they don't love us, but because they were never appreciated themselves in life. So they just don't know what to say or how to say it. In fact, even worse is when some people seek validation from material goods, such as money. And what that means is the more money they have, the better they feel about themselves, the more confident they feel about themselves. So imagine what happens when Allah decides to test them by taking away that money. Suddenly, they feel worthless. Suddenly, they have low self-esteem and low self-confidence. So in this context, these verses are reminding us to stop seeking validation because people or material goods cannot ever give you true satisfaction in this world, and they will definitely not be of any benefit to you when you are standing in the court of Allah. Instead, on that day, you will only face humiliation. The material goods you loved because they gave you confidence will not be there on the day of judgment to save you. And the people you did everything to please will not be able to save you from Jahannam. So seek validation only from Allah by doing things that make Him happy. Allah appreciates every effort that you make for Him. That's why He is called Ash-Shakur. And Allah gives you gifts for it in this world and the next. But of course the question is, how will Allah appreciate your efforts? How will Allah give you the validation that you are seeking? Well, Allah won't talk to you directly and you won't be able to see Him. But He will give you the validation that you are seeking by granting you a qalb salim. He will put so much sukoon and comfort and peace in your heart that you won't need appreciation from anyone else because your heart will be at peace. You will know at that moment that you are worthy. You will know that you are beautiful. And most importantly, you will know that you are enough. No one can then shatter your confidence. That's what it means to seek validation only from the Almighty. Assalamu alaikum.